the Babylonian Empire attacked Jerusalem and destroyed the city and the country, and of course destroyed the temple. That was the beginning of the first diaspora of the Jewish people out into the Babylonian Empire. 70 years later, around 515 BC, under the reign of Darius, the king of the Median Persian Empire, the Jews were allowed to come back into Judah and Israel, and they re-established the temple. Sadly, though, when they rebuilt the temple, they were so filled with fear and with insecurity that they set up some rules about the temple that rendered its use greatly diminished. The worship within the temple became a very exclusive experience, and that was never what it was meant to be. The temple was always intended by God to be the center of justice and mercy, the place where the needs of the weak and the broken people came before everything else. But when the temple was rebuilt in 515, it was rebuilt and used by people who wanted to keep the poor people out. And of course, if you build a temple without compassion for the poor and broken down, it is no temple at all. And so God raised up a prophet at that time, a prophet by the name of Malachi, God's messenger. And Malachi came into the temple in a rage, saying to the people, "This is not God's temple. You will not allow the poor people to come in. You will not allow the sick or the lame to come in. You will not let foreigners come in. And you will not let the little children come in." Those people wanted worship that was solemn and dignified. They didn't want worship that had anything to do with real life or with the needs of real people. And Malachi said to the people, one day, God himself is going to come to this temple in a rage, and God is going to clear you all out of this temple. He's going to clean the temple like soap. He is going to refine the corruption of this temple like fire. And when he does that, you who are high and mighty will be tossed out, and the weak and the broken and the foreigners and the children will all come in. You need to have that little bit of history in order to understand the New Testament lesson today. Jesus cleansing the temple. Jesus coming, just as Malachi had said, like soap to clean up the corruption and like fire to refine that temple. The cleansing of the temple is a strange story. In John's Gospel today, it appears at the very beginning of Jesus' ministry. In the other three Gospels, it appears at the very end of Christ's ministry as Christ is coming into Jerusalem, knowing he is going to face his own trial and death. It's very likely that John knew where the story belonged, but changed its position for the sake of strengthening some other stories about the nature of God and God's worship at the very onset of his gospel. It really did happen just before the people arrested Jesus and tried him. And no wonder, after what he did in their temple, coming in and finding the money changers and the animal sellers, he made a whip and he tipped over their tables and their chairs. He scattered the money changers' tables and their coins everywhere, and he drove them out. Now, you probably know the reasons why Jesus drove them out of the temple. There are some that are very clear and simple. First of all, the money changers were cheating the people out of their money. People had to come from long distances. And many who came at Passover were coming from places other than Judah or Israel, But in the temple, the only coin that was acceptable was the temple shekel. So if you brought foreign currency, you had to change that currency in order to make your offering. And the money changers there were charging 20% interest. Incidentally, about the same interest as most major charge card companies charge today. I'm sure that is just a coincidence and nothing else. That qualified as usury, unfair loaning for the purpose of making a profit. That enraged Jesus. The other thing that angered Jesus was the fact that inside the temple, the people were selling animals for sacrifice, mostly doves and sheep, but they were selling them at somewhere between 20 and 40 times the proper price.